Hi everyone, my name's Arsh Ellahi. It's Sunday evening and you've got two options. You could either be sat at home watching Songs of Prayers, or you could be with me this evening. And tonight what we're going to be talking about, how you can get involved in property, whether that be deal trading, deal sourcing, deal packaging, whatever you want to call it. There's lots of terminologies for it. But one thing that we are going to be showing you is how you can do it, and how you can do it very easily from the comfort of your own home. So before we go any further, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time this evening. I appreciate that. Time's the most precious commodity. I guarantee that I'm going to make sure that the next 90 minutes is the most precious, valuable 90 minutes that you'll have, and it's the best investment that you would have made. So what we're going to be covering in 90 minutes. So if I do go a little bit croaky, apologies, I am fasting, but that's not an excuse. There is no such thing as an excuse in property. That's my firm belief. And in 90 minutes, what we're going to be covering is a simple three-step process as to deal trading success. I firmly believe that I'm probably one of the best, I was going to say greatest, but there's no such thing as greatest, one of the best deal traders in the UK, and I can back up that statement. I'll show you the fastest way to make property cash flow. I'll be talking about the number of deals that we did in 2017. I'll be talking about the kind of deals that we did in 2017. However, we'll also be talking about the deals that we've done in 2018, and we'll be looking at a deal that we did which was 50% below market value. Yeah, that's it, guys. You heard it right. 50% below market value, and you would have seen it if you're actually getting any of the deals that I see on email. Actually, if you can, whether you listen on social media, whether you listen on webinar, can you let me know, have you received my emails this week? Did you see the deal that we put out? I think it was actually on Friday. It may have even actually, was it Thursday? Was it Friday? No, it was actually by Friday, yes, and it was by email. It was a property that we put out, which is 50% below market value in Blackpool. So John says he didn't see that deal. Go through your emails, you would have seen that it was definitely there. So we're going to be talking about the deals that we did in 2017. We're going to be looking at the deals that we've done this week in 2018. We'll be going through all of them and how you guys can get started with no money and no experience. So I want to say a quick hi to people like Richard, Vina, who are all online on Instagram. I haven't seen the guys that are online. Guys on Facebook, I think you're a little bit quiet at the moment. Feel free to say hello. So why should you listen to me? Who is Arsh Ellahi? Well, first of all, I'm a down-to-earth guy. Believe that I can help anyone and everyone in their tracks. And if I can do, I'm always more than happy to do so. So I'm a best-selling author of a book called Boom, Bust and Back Again. And if you, it's a shock that I actually haven't got a copy of my book in my hand. I'm a monthly columnist of two very well-known property magazines in the property industry. So that's YPA magazine, so Your Property Network, as well as the HMO magazine. So I consider myself a bit of a property veteran. The reason why I say that is because I've survived the brink of bust, and I'm back again to tell the tale. So I've seen the recession, managed to restructure a whole portfolio as a result of the recession, and I've managed to, what I would say is, what would I say? That I managed to pull my portfolio together by the brink or the skin of my teeth to now what is very much a handsomely cash flowing portfolio. I started a deal trading business on a shoestring budget, and before the crash made a whopping £6 million profit in just 3 years. Now that's okay compared to what we're doing right now. We'll be going through some of the figures, and I'm a property investment trainer, and I'm a mentor, and I've helped hundreds of people achieve financial freedom. One thing I do want to say very early on, and I'm very open and honest in that, I am a property investor first and foremost. The reason why I say that, I'm not one of these people that have been on a workshop last week, and then today I've actually just regurgitating the stuff that I learned last week. I've actually been doing this 18 years. So you could say, like I said in my previously, I've earned my scars. I've seen the good times. I've definitely seen the bad times. I'm back to tell the tale. That was the title of my book, Boom, Bust and Back Again. If you haven't read it, please go onto Amazon. You'll be able to find it on there. And I like to think it's a good read. I actually wrote it. So in 2017, I actually, when I say that I'm a property investor first and foremost, I actually purchased an additional 50 properties for my personal portfolio. So I'm still actively investing myself. 2018 so far, I've purchased an additional 15 properties for my portfolio. So I'm continuously keep growing it. I've got a vision. I know where I want to go with it. I know, and the one thing that I will say is that I'm one of the guys that I can actually say that I'm not actually highly geared as some of the other guys may be. So I'm very risk averse when it comes to my portfolio. Okay, so everyone's saying hi, by the way. Stephen said, hi, Arsh, you able to quickly clarify deal trading versus deal sourcing? Don't understand the difference. Don't worry, Stephen, we're going to go through all that. So apologies if I'm looking in different directions, especially if you're watching me on social media. I've got a camera over there, I'm trying to watch my screen over there as well. So apologies, but hopefully we stay all together. First thing I always do on all my webinars, I always say, what is your reason why? And this is for your point, for you to come in and you can join and say, you know what, to be fair, my reason why is that, you know, it may be financial freedom. I want to take my kids on holiday. I want to get my kids through education. I want to live a better life. I want to sack my boss. So take your time now. You've got a minute just to say, what's your reason why? What really focused you to get here this evening? You know, is it that you want to get to financial freedom? And again, if you're on Facebook, feel free to tell me why you're here. Yeah, what's your reason why? What's your end goal? I'm just going to quickly go to the guys on the webinar. So straight away, Ivan is coming and goes, I want my family to live a proper, a decked life. Okay, so you want to a decent life, sorry. Okay, so John says, I want to sack my boss, and Ivan says he wants to live a decent life. To be fair, Ivan, I'd like to just clarify that, because the fact that you're eating, you're breathing, I'd say that you've got a decent life anyway, in comparison to a lot of the countries that, you know, third world countries, to have clean water, to have electricity 24 hours a day. You're actually living a very healthy and a rich life already. So don't take that for granted, my friend. That's the first thing that I would say to you. So I'm very grateful for everything I have. So the moment I wake up, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for living a lovely life. I'm very grateful for having a lovely surrounding and a great family surrounding me. I've got great people surrounding me that continuously support me. So, you know, first and foremost, you should be grateful for that. Apologies, I've gone a little bit deep for that. I've gone a little bit deep there. So, okay, so going through some of the questions. So, financial freedom, want to be my own boss, provide for the family, financial freedom. I want to allow myself to have a purpose again in life. Okay, I want to live on with no regrets, love money. Okay, I want to build a sustainable business. Okay, so I need something. Okay, interesting. So let's just quickly go. So I've got lots and lots of people have come in on the webinar. I want to get to financial freedom. I do not want to work for anyone else again. I've recently learned that my own time is too precious to be wasted in a normal 9 to 5, especially with a young family. Okay, so interesting. So. Right, so we've got a lot of people online. We've got a lot of people giving us their reason why, so that's fantastic. You know, a lot of them are giving us their personal account. My personal reason why, very simply, and I make no qualms about this. My reason why, first of all, is my family. So going back to my mother, I'm very grateful for everything. My mother, my father, very grateful for everything they did for me. And then going forward into a new generation, my wife and my two daughters. I've got a very young family. Daughters are 4 and 3, and I make sure that I work hard now so that they don't have to in the future. When I say that, I'm not going to hand it them on a plate. I need to make sure that they're going to be able to appreciate what they've been given. A lot of people say that they want to pass something on to their family, so they want to provide for their family. So family is a real being, freedom is a real being for being on the webinar this evening. So thank you very much for sharing that. We've got a lot of slides to get through tonight. We've got a hell of a lot of content to get through tonight. Just so that you know, guys, the guys that are on Instagram, social media, and Facebook, social media, and YouTube. We're going to be shutting the live feed shortly. If you want to get onto the webinar, please do so quickly. So what are your property goals for 2018? So some of the goals could be that you could want to quit your job, you want to make property pay for luxuries such as car materialistic things. And there's nothing wrong with having materialistic things, because that could be part of the success process. You may want to help your kids get through on their property ladder, or you may want to actually get them through education. There's nothing wrong with that. You may want to pay for your daughter's wedding. Now, yesterday we saw a really extravagant wedding. Prince Harry? Admittedly, I'm not really up to speed on the whole wedding thing, but it looked brilliant, and I love, to be fair, I love the royal family. So, regardless how much it costs, I saw lots of people said how much it costs, and I've got no issue with that, because I see what they bring into the country, and what that costs is minor in comparison. Okay, so Shirley says, my screen shows that I've been muted by the organizer. Everyone on the line online would have been muted, so that I don't hear what you guys, whether you're watching TV in the background, you've got kids running in the background, everyone would have been muted. It's only if I ask you to come online that you would be unmuted. So just clearing that up for you, Shirley. So what does success look like to you? So is it a monetary figure? So is it £5,000 a month? Is it £10,000 a month? The most important question that I've got to ask you is that what strategy are you going to use to get to that figure? Because it's all very well having a headline figure. I want to get to £5,000 a month. Now, what we've got to do is break it down into mini goals. And if you're watching me on social media, I'm doing some crazy hand movements. But what are you going to do? What are the mini goals that you're going to get to that headline figure? So you could say that I need £5,000 a month, and as a result of that, I'm going to use rent to rent as my strategy. As rent to rent is my strategy, that means that I need five rent to rent deals, generating £1,000 a month. Now, just so you know, Instagram, Real Ashman, Ashley Walker, thanks for coming online. He says, listen to this guy, take notes. Just so you know, Ashley, I've actually incorporated you into my session tonight, so I've got a picture of you up on my session later on, because you're a real inspiration for the slides that I created today, considering the work that we've done this week. So straight away, we're going to get into questions. Let's go, what is deal trading? So someone's asked, what is deal trading? What's the difference between deal trading, deal sourcing, deal packaging? The short answer is that they are all the same thing, just different packages, different terminologies. So there's different kinds of things. So you could deal source, where you literally get the deal, you've created a website, you get people to click onto it, they fill out a form, and then as a result of that, you sell that as a deal, you sell that as almost like a lead. There's lots of things where you could then take it further, where you could take that lead, you could try and negotiate the deal, and you package it up as a deal, which means that it's a package deal, and you sell that on for a further fee, because you've clearly shown a vision for the property. So that they are in essence all the same thing. So, if I refer to a deal sourcer, deal packager, or a deal trader, technically speaking, you are all the same thing. There's lots of things that we could talk about, like compliance issues and stuff like that, but we've only got 90 minutes. I want to really get you to get to grips with what we're covering, or what the actual strategy entails, and how you can do it. And if you really are interested in that, we want to talk about compliance and stuff like that, we can do that at a later date. So what is deal trading? I would consider deal trading as almost like a matchmaking service. Now, I know it sounds daft, and you've got to stay with me with this. You bring together buyers and sellers that would never have found each other previously, and you give them a safe and simple way to do business. The way that I describe it in a simple term, and everything that I do is on a simple manner, I consider myself almost like a glorified estate agent, because the reason being is that we've got the vendor looking to sell the property, we've got a buyer that's looking to buy it, so investor looking to buy properties, and we sit in the centre. So simply, we go and approach the vendor first, get the deal done, and then we get that deal appraised, packaged, and then we try and sell it to the investor. As a result of that, the investor will then purchase a property on the basis that they know exactly what it's doing, what the vision is with that property, and as a result, we get paid a fee for that service. And that's exactly what we do, almost like a glorified estate agent. Bear in mind that estate agent goes to the vendor, goes and gets the instruction, puts it up in their shop window, which is what we do to our investors. And as a result of that, they get lots of people looking at that property, hopefully liking it, and then they put the two together and they act as the intermediary in the centre. They get paid a commission. Difference with property investors is that we work a little bit faster. We're a little bit more motivated because we want to get deals done. Whereas we don't just put it up in the window, we wait for people to come to it. We're actually pushing property investors to it constantly. And as a result, we're getting more traffic. So whereas an estate agent will put it up on Rightmove, and that's great, you know, it's a great tool, etc. But then they're waiting for people, they're waiting for the phone to ring. I'm very much an advocate. Instead of getting the phone to ring, I'm calling people and saying, guys, I've got a property, are you interested? So I am very much a proactive packager or deal source or deal packager, whatever you want to call me. So it's a service that helps homeowners that have previously been let down by estate agents. So, you know, if they've had a deal that, if an estate agent has had a property and they haven't been able to sell it, I'm the perfect candidate for them because I can potentially find them a buyer and they still make money. They make money off the seller. I make my money off the buyer. So there's lots of ways that it can work, and you can complement estate agents, letting agents, auction houses, and all the other platforms extremely well just by working with them and showing them how you can make money, how they can make money, and it all works extremely well, and it's not compromising anyone's service. So why do I love deal trading? So the reason why I love deal trading is that if you're watching me on the webinar, you'll see a picture of HSBC and you'll see a picture of Lock as well. Is that when you're purchasing property, and I'm still purchasing property, the one thing that I'm conscious of the fact of is that I won't actually own that property until any leverage or any debt is actually paid off, which means that I'm conscious that for the next 25 years, in essence, I could potentially become the slave to a bank. I have to make sure that that property is rented, the rent comes in, I've got sufficient funds to pay the bank. If I haven't got sufficient funds to pay the bank, guess what? The rug gets pulled from under my feet. So I'm always conscious of that. So it's almost like having a chain around your neck. That's the way that I firmly believe that it is. You know, rightly or wrongly, you know, I appreciate that some people say that property is the greatest thing to have as an investment. And I still firmly believe that because I'm doing it as a long-term goal so that I can leave those for my daughters so that they can inherit something in the future. But I'm conscious of the fact that that is consistently around my neck, that I've got a loan, a massive loan around my neck until the 11th of November 2025 at 11:59 p.m. The reason why that date and that time is significant to me is because I've structured all my loans so that at midnight on the 12th of November 2025, I turn 45, so that's my 45th birthday, and all my loans go to zero. So there's lots of things that I've put in place for this to happen. And that's when I will become financially free. The reason why I like deal trading, deal sourcing, is because I can do more deals without having to buy the property, and I'm simply controlling the transaction, and I'm making the same kind of cash flow as if I was owning property. Now, for argument's sake, give me an example. One transaction, one of the deals that we're going to go through shortly, is a deal where I made £5,000 from it simply by from controlling it. Now, when you look at it from an investment vehicle point of view, in order for me to make £5,000, I would have had to potentially own that property on a single let basis, by the way. I would have potentially had to own that property for near enough 2 years to make £5,000 net cash flow. So when you look at it from that kind of point of view, it's short-term cash flow versus long-term cash flow. Holding it long-term, yes, you're going to make capital growth, and I appreciate that. And you know, it's still a great investment vehicle. But if you can deal trade and you're making short-term cash flow as well, all that short-term cash flow will allow you to buy longer-term assets for the future. So there are two ways of looking at it. I've got short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term goal, and that's how I operate all my businesses. They have to fit somewhere along that strategy. So where would we fish? And this is the perfect opportunity to close off the social media. So if you're watching on Instagram, you need to you need to watch us on Facebook, or if you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, now's the time where we're going to close it. We've got the link where you can join the webinar. It's been fantastic having you online. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content so far. Get yourself on the webinar, and this is where we're going to go straight into meat. So guys, on that note, wish you all the very best, and I'll see you soon. So guys, on the webinar, thank you for being with us. You've now got 100% of my attention, and we're gonna start moving forward with you guys. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask away. Okay, so Aaron's just come in with a question. Do you consider that financially free, as you know, that financially free as you are, no longer have the loan, rather than the income being sufficient to cover your costs? It depends how you look at it, Aaron. Some people say that financially free is having sufficient income to cover your outgoings. I completely agree with that. But you've also got to bear in mind that there may be months where your property is vacant. And you haven't got that income, you're going to have maintenance issues. And let's just face it, on a single let, let's just imagine that you've got your cash flows generating £200 a month, which is 2,400 a year. You know, somewhere along the lines, your boiler's going to go, you're going to have issues, you're going to have rents, you're going to have voids, you're going to have bad debt. And you have to take this as a global view, by the way. So in that respect, there's certain things that you have to take into consideration. So for me personally, I like the thought of having no debt, and as a result of that, I'm not answerable. I don't have to ask any question. I don't have to answer any questions to any bank or any building society, because I do as I please. If I decide to leave all those properties empty, I've got, other than the potential outgoing of council tax or other utility bills, etc., there is no other bills. Yeah. So that's my vision of financial freedom. Okay, so Martin says, this is the last question on mortgages and stuff, because I want to get moving on to deal trading. He goes, if you clear all your mortgages, does that mean that you're going to be building up a huge inheritance tax bill for your beneficiaries? If you structure it now, Martin, and if you structure it, and like I say, if you get sufficient and proper tax advice, then no, you don't, believe it or not. So you're structuring it in a manner where it will become tax efficient for you in the future as well. So go back onto deal trading. So I've put on the slide here. Now, where would you fish? Now, I'm a big believer that you've got two options, that you've either can go to your local pond or your local, your local fishery, and you can go and you can put your fishing rod out there on the view that you're gonna, on each fishing rod, you're gonna potentially catch one fish. Or alternatively, you can go to the bloody ocean. You can cast your net out and you can bring home a massive school of fish. And that's where I like to be. I don't want to just do one deal. I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. I want to be consistent with time and time of deal after deal after deal after deal. And if you're actually receiving my emails, you see that I'm actually hitting you with deal after deal after deal. And these are all deals that have all been sourced, all been packaged, and all been sold. So that's where I want to be. So I don't want to, now, the reason why I say that, we're going to talk about some marketing strategies in a short while. And some of the marketing strategies are very narrow-minded, and it will only hit you one fish. Whereas what I want to do is show you marketing strategies which will allow you to cast the net out and bring home multiple levels or multiple income streams. So far, do you mind if I ask, does that sound good? So who's involved? I briefly touched this briefly. Okay, so straight away, we've got three people involved in the deal sourcing strategy. So first of all, we've got the vendor. So they're the people that own the property, and they're the people that you're going to approach, that approaches you with their property. Now, step two is you. You're the most important cog of the whole process, because you have to assess the deal, you have to assess the angle, you have to assess the profitability, and you have to be able to package the deal. And then finally, there's step 3, who is equally as important, is the purchaser, who's the person that is going to buy the property from you on the basis that the property makes financial and commercial sense. But before you do that, you've got to kind of understand the process. So the process is from the vendor's point of view. Why are they selling you? Why have they contacted you? What is their pain? What is their motivation? Why should they be doing a deal with you as opposed to someone else? So for argument's sake, yes, we've got lots of people online. So we've got Chi online. So why would they deal with Chi? Or why don't they deal with Paul? Or why don't they deal with Aaron? Why don't they deal with Ivan? What makes you so special? And it's the same with any strategy. With rent to rent, again, going back to it, it comes back to, as Chi says, what's your USP? What's your unique selling point? What makes you different? On a rent to rent strategy, why would they choose Chi over someone else? Why would they choose Chi and give that property to Chi on a 5-year contract as opposed to give it to a normal tenant that's going to live there for 6 months? What are you offering that's any different? So there's lots of things that you have to take into consideration. So step 2 is, how do we create the win-win-win scenario? So remember, there's 3 wins in this. There's a vendor, there's you, there's purchaser. Everyone has to eat. So how can you make profit without being a busy fool? And how can you create the value? Because it is the value in the deal that is ultimately going to move us on to step 3, which is the purchaser, who has to be satisfied with the transaction, who has to be able to understand the vision, who has to be able to understand the transaction that you're proposing and the cash flow that you're suggesting and the vision for the property. And as a result of that, they'll be satisfied with the transaction and they'll say, yes, okay, we're in. And as a result of that, you should have multiple returns of custom. Now, just out of curiosity, a lot of you on this session would have seen emails from me with deals that we put out on a day-to-day basis. Would you say that the way that we lay out the transaction or the way that we lay out the proposal is extremely clear for you to understand? Would you say that you clearly understand the vision, you understand the way that we propose it, you understand that it is? And everyone's saying, yes, it is. And I've never seen anyone, believe it or not, I've not learned that. That's something that I've created because I see deals every day that come to me that are poorly packaged. And I can guarantee that they don't sell, not necessarily because they're a bad deal, just necessarily because they're put forward in a manner that I don't even understand. I don't understand what the vision for the property is. Now, moving on, why we trade deals. As a deal trader, it allows me to see the best deals first. Now, you remember that last year I bought 50 of my own stock, 50 properties myself for my own stock. I bought another 15 this year. That's 65 properties in less than 18 months. So some people won't buy 65 properties in their whole lifetime. I'm just simply adding onto my portfolio. But I could only do that because I saw the best deals first. And it allows me to see that. And also I'll look at it and go, okay, not in my area, yeah, we'll trade that. Yeah, okay, this fits in my area. And then I'll go through the criteria. Okay, yeah, I'm keeping that one. And I'll buy that one myself. The beautiful thing with trading deals as well is that you don't actually need any money to get started, just lots of enthusiasm and determination. There is no risk because if the deal doesn't sell, you've not actually put any money into the transaction. It gives you fast results, it gives you easy and quick results, and it's very easy to scale. We're going to be talking about scalability as well. And you can make holiday-sized bundles of cash from hobby amounts of time. The reason why I say that is because every transaction should net anywhere between £3,000, £5,000 or £7,000. The average fee that we're charging this year is around £5,000. And it's the fastest way to reach your property cash flow goals. Now, I put this in, I thought this was quite funny. So what is flipping? Is it impossible? When we talk about flipping, we are literally trading deals. So it's another word for trading. Not if you believe what the novice and the experienced property investors are now saying. Now, remember, if you haven't got the cash to get involved in property or buy the property, deal trading, deal sourcing is a perfect strategy for you. If you don't like the risk, or you don't like the sort of taking on a long-term contract on a rent-to-rent basis, deal sourcing is the perfect strategy for you. There is no other way. And I would say that deal sourcing is the best strategy to get started in property, because it allows you to understand the different styles of property. It allows you to understand the different strategies and how property works. Now, I'll give you a bit of my background. I started trading properties in the year 2000. Prior to the crash, I was actually trading up to 30 properties a month. I was the first, but I was doing it the wrong way. I was literally having to potentially exchange and then sell the exchange contracts and sell deals to the investors that way, because I didn't know any other way. I was the first company nationwide to set up a high street presence to give competitor advantage. The reason why I say that, you open the back of your paper, you go to your yellow pages, you go online, there's lots of companies, call Paul, call John, we will offer you 100% guaranteed, we will buy it within 7 days, we'll pay your legal fees, I read all that. And I thought, you know what, okay, what sets me out? What makes me different? Remember, going back to what is my USP? And I put out a massive campaign. So my budget back then was around £100,000 a month. So I was spending £1.2 million a year on advertising. Now, I'm not saying that you guys have to. Don't get worried, don't get scared. I don't spend anywhere near that now. So I went out and I made a very bold move. I went and rented high street location, prominent location in Wolverhampton. I've still got these offices. Some of you may have been to see me. And I said, you know what, instead of calling Paul or instead of calling John, why don't you come sit with me? So we opened up 7 days a week, and we did deal clinics for people who wanted to come and sell their property. And my USP is, yeah, you can call Paul today, but is call Paul going to be there tomorrow? Because if they don't like the deal, if they can't sell the deal, you know, all it does, call Paul has to just turn off his mobile phone and you can't get hold of it. And we swept up. We absolutely swept up. People were coming in their drones. We had a waiting list of people coming to sell us their properties. So I'm not saying that you have to go off and get a high street presence as well, because again, this is a costly approach. We pay £15,000 a year for rent on our property, for the lease of the property, but it's brought us back millions of pounds worth of business. So it's a small cost, but it was a risk. We've got multiple online and offline marketing strategies, which gives us a continuous flow of deals daily, and the majority of leads are free. So when we're looking for deals, so Alan said, come on, let's get to the point. How do we find these deals? Believe it or not, most of the deals are there right in front of you, but you just don't know what you're looking for yet. So the 10 strategies that you see right in front of us is where I get 95% of my sourced deals. Does that make sense? So social media is a big one. Estate agents, so we use lots of advertising strategies on social media. You know, there are lots of Google adverts that we've got out there. We've got lots of click adverts out there. We've got estate agents. Estate agents brings us deals day in, day out. Estate agents, letting agents, auction houses, online portals, online platforms. We get properties from networking meetings. Now, we're not talking about the PIN network. We're not talking about the PPN network or any of those networks, because let's face it, guys, you guys are probably going to those networks to try and do what I'm already doing. So you're not going to find landlords generally in the room. You're going to find other property investors in the room. Whereas other networking events we're talking about, like landlord forums, there's still loads of landlord forums going on there. And you find all the old school landlords in there, literally looking and hearing about all the new legislation. And, you know, as far as they're concerned, that's the last nail in the coffin. They're now selling up in their drones. And I'm cleaning up by taking landlords' properties off them day in, day out, whether that be on a rent-to-rent basis or whether I'm then deciding to buy their portfolio. Part of the 50 that I bought last year, a lot of it was from landlords looking to sell up because they now had enough. Section 24 is the last nail in the coffin, along with universal credit, along with all the other issues that banks and building societies are bringing. So, you know, it's a great time to be involved in property, especially if you've got time and energy. And that I've definitely got energy. When it comes to time, I've still got a fair bit of time. Bandit boards, I'm not a big fan of, admittedly. I used to do a fair bit back in the day, not so much now. I still advertise quite a lot at football grounds. I do still a fair bit at supermarkets, shops. I do a hell of a lot of planning registers. Billboards, not so much of, but yes, a website and SEO research, we still do a hell of a lot. And so we'll go through this now. So Alan said to me earlier, I was going to move on. Was it Alan? Yeah, I think it was, yeah. He said, going to move on, let's find a deal. So, haven't done any research. So what we're going to do, this is all live. So we're going to find a deal. It's not going to cost me anything to do. So first thing I'm going to do is, let me just quickly check. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go. I'm just trying to actually, no, I'll tell you what. Let's go here. So everyone pretty much is on Facebook. You know, the world is on Facebook. So what we'll do is we're going to go to, let's just have a look. Let's quickly go UK property traders. And I'm going to give you an example here as to how easy it is to find a deal. So for argument's sake, I know Ken. Hi, if Ken's watching. Hi, Ken. Right, so first of all, straight away, you're going to have a look. It says, please post your property deals here. Now, remember, when we're talking about property deals, we get so many, so there's lots of people in this, there's lots and lots of people in this who are potentially also deal sources. Now, remember, when you're sourcing deals, you don't necessarily just have to source deals from the vendor. You could source deals from estate agents, you could source deals from letting agents, you could source deals from auction houses, you could source deals from other deal sources. Remember when I said earlier, a lot of these guys won't have what you're potentially going to have by the end of this session. So I'll just give you an example here. So for argument's sake, Salim has got a property, and I apologise if I'm picking on you, Salim, if you're on this session. I haven't checked to see who we've got on because I want to get moving with it. So for argument's sake, Salim here has got a property, purchase price 65 grand, open to offers. He's direct to the vendor. He hasn't given us a great deal of information. He should say if you want more information. And now, admittedly, that deal's not going to sell because there's nowhere near enough information on it. But what it doesn't stop you guys from doing is going to, no, I appreciate that. I'm going to make Salim a very popular man this evening. It doesn't stop you from going to Salim and saying, guys, okay, give me some information. Let's get it moving forward. Let's get this deal sold. He hasn't given us any information on the property. He hasn't told us what the market value is. He hasn't told us what he's told us what the purchase price is. We don't know whether it's discounted. We don't know what the motivation is. Now, so that's one way that you can get deals. So you can do that pretty much. I've told you that this, I've told you that there's deals here pretty much on a day-to-day basis, and you could pretty much find deals. So here we go, straight away. You could potentially, if you've got buyers on your database, there's nothing stopping you from going to Simone Harris and say, hi Simone, my name is Ivan, or my name's Said. I've seen that you've got this property. I've got, potentially got a buyer for this property. Could we do a split on your fee? And I get approached by that every day. The difference between me and Simone is that I'm a trained veteran in this, so that by the time you've probably found me a buyer, I've potentially sold it about 5 times over. So I'm probably not the best person to approach, but you get these here, blocks of apartments in Hinckley. Again, okay, this one's a big lot size, £3.2 million, but again, it's not going to sell on Facebook as a result of that poor advert. And again, I apologise to Salim if he's online, but it looks like that Salim's got some deals. There's nothing stopping you from going back to him. Okay, so Ivan has come back and said, what kind of contracts would you use then if you get the deal from another property sourcer? So you've got to have certain contracts. So you've got to have either exclusivity agreement, you've got to have a lockout agreement. And these are basically documents which are giving you exclusivity to the property for a period of time which allow you to sell the property. So there's so many deals here, and that's not going to cost you anything. I'm going to give you another example now. So for argument's sake, I'm going to say, property to rent in Birmingham, because I was searching for this earlier because I was looking for deals for myself. So if you notice that property to rent in Birmingham, if I want to look for a rent-to-rent deal, just give me an example. Sorry, I've got a fly flying around in front of me, and he's playing. He's actually quite quick. So property to rent in Birmingham. There's near enough 1,600 ads, which means that it gives you 1,600 opportunities. Straight away, we go to this filter process. If I only want to deal directly with landlords, I'm going to go to private. I'm going to knock out pretty much most of those adverts. So there's the best part of 500 people that I can now go and approach. Now I'm going to filter it further. I don't want one-bedroom flats unless I'm going to do service accommodation. I want 4-bedroom houses, minimum 4-bedroom houses. So straight away that narrows it down to 34 ads, which is 4-bedroom houses in Birmingham, direct to the owner. And there's nothing stopping me from contacting me. There's nothing stopping me from contacting all of these landlords here. So guys, okay. So here's an example. So a guy called Raj. He's advertising a property in Sheldon, and admittedly, he's put 3 pictures up of 2 of the kitchen and 1. It looks like it's got new carpet. It looks like it's got a new kitchen. It was available. It's been available 8 days. A large 4-bedroom flat in Sheldon. TSS considered, deposit required, reference required. He's put his personal mobile number there. And guess what, guys? You've actually got there. I've just given you a lead. Now, I never know what's going to come up as and when I see these kind of things. I can deal trade. I could do this all day, every day. And if you speak to some of my mentees, I do this on live sessions, training sessions with them day in, day out. So potentially, you've got a rent-to-rent deal there sitting right in front of you. You're in direct contact with the vendor. It's a 4-bedroom flat in Birmingham. So again, I haven't done any research on the location, but all you got to do is click on here and you can pretty much get an indication of the location pretty much straight away. So Ashley, if you're, let me just see if Ashley is online. I don't think he is, but if he is, so no, Ashley's not online. So one of my colleagues, Ashley, to be fair, I would have got him to jump all over that. So it's just by the Birmingham Hospital. So interesting. You might see that. I'll negotiate that this evening. So John says that's cheap. Okay. So do you care where the property is located when you consider to sell it to an investor? The honest answer, Ivan, no. The reason being is that if it's a deal, it's a deal and it's going to sell as a deal. Remember, if I was looking for myself, would I be looking in Timbuktu? If I was looking for myself as a property investor, would I be looking at Timbuktu? No, I wouldn't. However, as I'm trading the deal, as I'm going to be monetizing the deal, I can be doing this all over the country, and I've just got you well done. And so in that respect, I can trade anywhere all over the country. And that's what I love about deal trading. I love the fact that I can go anywhere, any location. When I say go anywhere, I don't even have to leave the office. I can do this all from the comfort of my own. I can do this all from the comfort of my desk or comfort of my own home if I wanted to. And we've got his phone number. So, you know, to be fair, if someone online, I haven't got time to call them now because I'm conscious that we're only online for 90 minutes and we've been on for 45 pretty much straight away already, and we haven't even got into the meat. Someone call this guy and see what you can do. Okay, so Sasson has said, okay, thanks for sharing this, but how do I find people who are going to be interested in buying this deal? Okay, that's an interesting one. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. So someone's going to call that. Hopefully they're going to come back and say, yeah, Arsh, I've got a viewing on this property, and they're going to do a deal. There are deals like that all over the internet. So I've just given you an example of a property that you can find online. So Gumtree is another one. So you can use Gumtree, you can use Rightmove, you can use Zoopla, you can use on the market. So there's so many ways of finding deals. And remember, because you aren't buying the property, you don't need the money for a deposit. You don't need the money for solicitors. You don't need money for surveyors and a refurb. Some sourcing techniques are completely free, just like the one that we've just done. Other sourcing techniques may cost less than a family meal out. There's no risk because you don't need to own anything, so nothing can go wrong. Now, I'm going to give you a story. I've spoken about this guy many times before, and I make no apologies about this because this guy is exceptional. Even to this day, I still consider him as exceptional. Now, a chap called Rahil, he's not based in the UK, he's based in Saudi Arabia. He's actually a mechanical procurement engineer living and working in Saudi Arabia on a short-term contract. As an expat working abroad, he earns a larger salary due to the antisocial nature of the work, being in a foreign country away from his extended family and friends. I'm going to be sharing with you his deal that he did recently. Now, Rahil works a brutal 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So he hasn't got a lot of time to spare. He works 72 hours a week. And he's got a wife and 2 young kids that are with him in Saudi Arabia. So he needs to make time for them as well. And he also needs to make time to build a UK-based property business. But he wants to break his trading time for money, and he wants to create a secure financial future for his kids. He wants to have time to be with his kids and the money to support them in every possible way. And he's prepared to make a sacrifice now to build a better future for himself and his family. Now, one thing that you've got to bear in mind is that based in Saudi Arabia, he doesn't have time to do leaflets. He doesn't have time to advertise on in newspapers. He doesn't have time to do Facebook adverts. He doesn't have time to do takeaway menus. So the only way that he could go direct was by working exclusively with estate agents. But we've got an issue because Rahil, based in another country, is unable to view the property, and he's unable to negotiate the price directly with the vendor. So he had to use the likes of estate agents, and the only way that he found them was on Rightmove, Zoopla, and he also found some vendors directly on Gumtree. And there are lots of other property other platforms. But Rahil, in 3 months, traded 15 deals and made 15 grand in sourcing fees. He was selling the deals cheap, but he sold them, and every deal was listed with estate agents that he found online. And he personally he physically didn't view a single property. Well, it's impossible. Now, I'm going to talk to you about a property in a minute that he found only this week. Only this week, and it was a phenomenal deal. The beautiful thing about working online is that you don't have to view any of the properties personally. He's looking for deals across the entire country. He isn't going to live in them, so he's not really too worried about the condition of them. He isn't going to view them because he doesn't need to. So why limit your search to only your investment area? Going back to the image of the fishing, do you fish locally, or do you go out to the ocean and you fish nationally, or even if you want to, fish across the world? Okay, so Jake says, would you suggest using purple bricks? Why not, Jake? Why not, Jake? There's nothing wrong with you using purple bricks. Nothing wrong with you using open rent. Nothing wrong with you using easy room rent. There's nothing wrong with you using spare room. There's so many different avenues. And you know, one thing I would say to you is, if anything, it's probably overwhelming because there are so many different strategies for you to use. Tinashe says, does Rahil have any runners that view the property on his behalf as he is abroad? Believe it or not, Tinashe, he doesn't need to. Guess why? The estate agents do all the work for him. He searches the entire country. He focuses on one region or a county at a time for a week before moving on to another area. He systematically works through different regions, and he repeats it once he's covered the entire country. Now, here's a deal that you wouldn't have seen on email. The reason being is that this was sold before it even went out to email because it was such a good deal. So there's a property in Stoke-on-Trent. There's a 6-bed HMO producing £23,000 a year. The purchase price was £140,000. We charged a sourcing fee of £5,000. This was a deal that we did this week, and it didn't even make the email list. Sold to our early bird list, and so I've got an early bird list. I've got a normal list, which a lot of people, which the mass majority are on. And as soon as I showed it to the first person, they bought it. It's a 6-bed HMO, fully occupied with professional tenants. Sorry, I've put the wrong date on it. Sold 17th of February 2017. Sold literally this week, and the property was occupied and fully managed. And Raheel found this on Gumtree, and the agent that was advertising it on Gumtree took all the pictures and created the floor plan. The agent negotiated with the vendor, which meant that Raheel only had to speak to the agent. The deal was sold to the database in a day, and it was sourced, negotiated, and sold from the comfort of his sofa in Saudi Arabia. Remember, he's not based in the UK. Remember of the reasons why he's doing this. So Michael said, how do you build your investor list? Michael, now, admittedly, my list has taken me 18 years, but that's because mine was built prior to the evolution of the internet, and now building a list is very easy. The one thing that you've got to be conscious of, you need to build a list of buyers and not just speculators. So there are lots of ways of doing it. Now, you could go onto social media and you could say, you know, I've got loads of deals, and there's lots of people that say that they've got a deal, and when you actually approach them about it, there's no deal to be had, and they were literally list building. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I understand the process of list building, and when I see a post, I know which is a list building post and which isn't. And as a result, there's to build a list nowadays, you've got to put some graft in. You've got to go to some networking meetings. You've got to be generating. You've got to be speaking to property investors. You've got to be approaching places where you know where there's lots of buyers. So, given that, okay, so as you said, given that most estate agents don't let you offer without viewing, how does Raheel get a property from an agent? Okay, Azu, that may be your personal belief. I deal with agents on a day-to-day basis. For argument's sake, I'll talk to you about the deal that we did on Friday, which is a 50% below market value deal. I haven't viewed that. I've got no intention of viewing it. It's in Blackpool. I'm based in Wolverhampton. Blackpool for me is going to easily be a 3 to 4 hour trek. I don't have 3 to 4 hours to go and view that property. And so, yeah, we deal with agents on a day-to-day basis, and we don't view them. Are agents trustworthy? Absolutely, because you've got to remember that we're doing a lot of the agents' work for them. We're finding them a buyer before they've even managed to put it out on the open market. All I need to do, and to be fair, you know, all I need is, you know, for argument's sake, that one in Stoke naturally was being marketed at 140,000. So we actually haven't gone in at a discount. We actually offered them what they're after. So there's lots of questions going to come in, and what I'd like to do, if possible, is keep going through. So Kesha says, you know, how do you determine who goes on your early bird list? Now, admittedly, Kesha, the early bird list is a subscription-based list. So you pay a subscription to go on that list, and you see the deals 24 to 48 hours before they're on the main list. And that list is a short list, should we say. So the cost of being on that list is £500 for the year. Okay. So let's keep moving forward. There's lots of questions coming in, and I will answer them. I'll get around to answering all of them. So deal trading is the no excuses way to invest in property. The reason why I say that, the only barrier to entry is your determination to make a better life for yourself and your family. Your success is guaranteed if you follow the proven system and you take committed action. And I can only say that that is true, because if you do what Raheel did and he followed it to a T, there's no reason why you can't. And I've got hundreds of other people doing exactly the same thing. All you've got to do is follow the system. The system that I've created will literally get you through the process. Estate agents need your help. as houses will not sell themselves. Homeowners will need your help, as they may have previously been let down by estate agents. Now, you've got to remember, you've got to have a look at what the motivation of an estate agent is. Remember, estate agents are motivated as well. You have to think about this logically, because how do they make their fee? They want to sell as many houses as possible. They want to sell as many houses as possible, as quickly as possible. They want to sell them as easily as possible. They just want to make their commission. When they have a tired property, they will struggle to sell it to a first-time buyer because it may be unmortgageable. I could talk to you about a property that we put out in Bury earlier this year. 2 burnt-out houses that they estate agents had on their books for almost 3 months, and they didn't get a sniff because they were trying to sell it to first-time buyers. First-time buyers, they would not have been able to get a mortgage on that. So it was only suitable for investors. There are certain styles of properties that are only suitable for investors. And as a result of that, that's where you should be pouncing and say, guys, I've actually got investors that are prepared to buy these properties today at the price that you're after for it, provided that you can show that there is a clear angle for it. So let's keep moving on. So Ronnie's asked a great question. He goes, why would the estate agent want to deal with someone like Rahil? Why wouldn't he want to deal with someone like Rahil if he's finding a buyer for their property at the price that they're after and they can deliver today? They're making the commission that they would make if they sold it to Joe Public. The property is being sold today. The vendor's happy because the agent looks like a hero. The agent is happy because they're making commission. The investor is happy because they've just bought a great deal. Rahil is happy because he's just made a shed load of cash. Does that make sense? So how did I know? Okay, I'm going to give you an example. So how did I trade 483 deals in 2017? Now, guys, you may think that that is fluff. And there are lots of people in this industry that talk about great figures and they've got nothing to back it up. One thing I'm going to say to you, go back to all your emails that I sent you in 2017 and see how many deals I actually sent you. I actually sent you in excess of 483 deals, but I actually secured and sold 483 deals. I'm a little bit disappointed because I actually wanted to do 500 deals. But don't worry, this year we're going to get there. It's the same system that I've been using since the year 2000, but I've simplified it. And the beautiful thing about deal trading is that it can work in any market. The rising market of 2006, the crash of 2008, and the flat market of 2010. Regardless of where you are in the country, this can work. And the simple SPS process is source, package, and sell. And we're going to go through this. First one, step one, how to find the deal. So, like I said, there are a number of ways of sourcing deals, whether that be estate agents, letting agents, auction houses, online platforms, other sources. Now, just believe it or not, I've actually gave you 2 of those today. We looked at other sources by going on Facebook. We've looked at online platforms by going on Gumtree. And believe it or not, there's a deal there to be done. Okay, so Ruth said, estate agents feel offended when you ask for 20 to 30% below market value. How do we turn them around? Now, Ruth, guess what? If you go into an estate agent, so yeah, hi, my name's Ruth. I'm after properties, but I'm only prepared to look at properties at 20 to 30% below market value. They're not going to take it seriously. They've heard it all before. They've heard Bella go in and say it the week before. They've heard Ben and Brendan and Brian all go and say it the week before. And you know what? They take your business card out of kindness, being complimentary to you. At the moment you leave, they stick it in the bin. What you need to do is actually offer them value. So Roy says, does Rahil pay the agent their commission or does the purchaser of the deal? No, the seller still pays the commission. So the vendor still pays the commission. Because guess what? He's still selling their property. The agent has sold them their property. The seller pays the agent, the buyer pays Raheel finding the deal. Does that make sense? 90% of the properties are sold through estate agents. They become your unpaid sales force. They need your help shifting tired properties that don't appeal to first-time buyers. Once you earn their trust, they will call you before anyone else and before they've advertised it anywhere else. And I've seen this time and time again. Day in, day out, I get agents call me, Arsh, I've just got this, and what do you reckon we can do with it? Have you got someone for it? How quickly can we shift it? Do you want me to put it on Rightmove yet? No, don't put it on Rightmove yet. Give me 24 to 48 hours with it. Okay, I can do that. I can hold off 48 hours. And that's as simple as that it is. If there's a property online that I like, I get it removed off Rightmove before, so that I get an opportunity to sell it to my investors. And agents do that because they know that within 48 hours they're going to get an offer on that property from an investor that is going to be able to proceed. Now, there are direct-to-owner sourcing techniques, and these will cost a bit of money because you're going to produce leaflets. They're going to take a bit of time because you're going to get them distributed. And you've got no guarantee. When I say guarantee of success, because you're then reliant on the vendor calling you after they've received the leaflet, the postcard, or whatever it may be. Does that make sense? Whereas what we've just gone through previously, estate agents and Facebook and the Gumtree strategies where you're actually in control. Does that make sense? You're actually in control. So for argument's sake, we could have called that a deal on Gumtree and we could have been the one in control. Hi, I've seen that you've got that 4-bedroom flat in Sheldon. Do you mind if we have a 5-minute chat about it? Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's what I can offer you. Are you interested? Whereas here, if we put out a leaflet, first of all, there's only so much we can put on the leaflet. We're restricted by size. We're restricted by budget. Because whether we put out an A5 leaflet, whether we put out A4 leaflet, whether we put out A3 leaflet, A1 leaflet, we'll decide to put out a whole booklet, how many leaflets we put out, whether we put out 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, we're restricted by so many things, cost being the main factor. But I'm not saying that they don't work. I'm just saying that there's no guarantee of success because we don't know when they're going to call. So someone may get our advert today, and they may call us in 2 years' time, because they may not be motivated today, but they will be in 2 years' time, or they may decide to sell in 2 years' time. Now, let me introduce you to a young gentleman called Ashley Walker. I've spelled your name wrong, Ashley. Apologies. It's meant to be L-E-Y, not L-W. Apologies, my friend. So I don't actually think he's online, but I know that he was watching on Instagram. So Ash, if you are watching this and you're catching the recording, apologies about that. So Ashley Walker is a member of a group called the Elite Property Tribe, which is something that we're going to mention shortly. Ashley Young Walker. Ashley Walker is actually a very inspirational young man. He's within his mid-20s, and he's got a full-time job. And he said, "Arsh, goes, I've got young kids. I want to make this work." And he joined the Elite Property Tribe in February this year, and he's already done a number of deals. Well, he's done 2 deals, and he's netted 10 grand in sourcing fees off 2 deals, and they are 2 rent-to-rent deals. So one which was in Birmingham, and it was one that we actually put out on email, and it was another one in Wolverhampton that didn't go out on email because we sold it to another investor that I knew in the early bird list. So here are some of the other people that have succeeded in deal trading. So we've got Vicky Hughes, we've got Alfred Street, we've got Alex Rooney on the right hand side, based up towards Manchester. We've got Ryan, we've got Pollen, we've got Chris Dench. Chris Dench actually has done deals, but he's not actually based in the UK. Chris is the person on the right hand side, and he's actually based in Bulgaria, and he's actually deal trading from Bulgaria. A deal that we put out earlier this week, which was a 5-bed HMO towards Manchester. I can't remember what the area called, which was the one that had the 5-year 5-year contract already in place. That was actually Chris's deal. We've got Sandy, we've got Daryl, we've got Graham. These are all guys that have all done well from deal sourcing, who have made money. I'm going to talk about Russell on the left-hand side shortly, because he's another inspirational character. We've got Tutu in the centre there. Now, remember what I said about deal trading. Now, Tutu approached me last year, and she goes, Arsh, I want to deal trading, but she goes, I'm going to be completely honest with you. She goes, any deals that I get, I want to keep myself. And I said, I've got no issue with that. I want you just to go out and do deals. I've got no issue with anyone doing deal trading and then keeping all the deals. In actual fact, I prefer that you kept them, because that's going to build a better future for you in the future. And we've got Christina Peak on the right-hand side there, and Christina's done a number of deals. We've got a couple of deals going through at the moment. You might see a deal come out on email tomorrow of Christina's. A deal in Hartley, is it Hartlepool? No, sorry, it's a deal in County Durham. I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys the opportunity before it actually comes out in the email. We've got two-bedroom flats in County Durham with direct to the vendor on it, and you can buy it £45,000. Two-bedroom flats, £45,000 plus a £5,000 sourcing fee. So if you like the thoughts of that and you want to have a chat about it, more than welcome to get in contact with me. That's Christy in this deal. We'll talk about Russell shortly. We've got Ellie on the left-hand side. Now, Ellie wouldn't say boo to a goose, but she came and spent a day with me, and in actual fact, found her first deal there and then. We've got Martin Webb, who's doing multiple deals. We've got Helen and Gareth Firth doing multiple deals. We've got Nick Sweld, who's doing multiple deals. And again, we've got Girish and his wife on the right-hand side there, who have all done deals, but all rent-to-rent deals, and they've kept them themselves. So again, with deal sourcing, once you've got the deal in front of you, you decide what you do with it. Girish said, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to generate a cash flow from all the rent-to-rent deals, which is going to get me to financial freedom. As a result of that, he decided to quit his job. So, question is, can you do it? The answer is, yes, you can. Like I said, Tutu started deal sourcing in June 2017. Her aim was simple, to source properties purely for herself. She wasn't going to sell anything, and to keep everything for her own portfolio with none of her own money. Within 6 months, she sourced and retained 9 rent-to-rent properties all around the Midlands, and is netting £8,000 per calendar month cash flow, generating circa £100,000 a year per annum. And guess what? Tutu is still in her full-time employment. And I said to her, why are you still in your job? And she goes, I'll be honest, I absolutely love my job. I absolutely love my job. And as a result, so sorry, De Quincy, you've just asked a question. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to that. That's a great question. Okay, so she absolutely loves her job. So as a result of that, she said she's going to keep her job there, and she wants to keep the £100,000 income as well. And she did it all within 6 months, no previous property experience, and she simply followed the system to the T. Now, going on to seller motivation, remember there's lots of different reasons why people sell their properties. Whether they're upsizing, whether they're downsizing, whether they're moving closer to family, whether they've got a new job, whether they need to be in a different part of the country, whether they've lost their job, whether they've got a property going into probate, whether they're in debt, whether they're going through divorce. Now, remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. Just give me an example. Another property that we sold this week, again, you didn't see it on the database because I actually sold it to my inner circle, a property in Cannock, which is in the West Midlands. It's a probate, which means that someone passed away in the property and they left it to their family. The family have now gone through and got all the probate, and they've got 2 executors of the will, or executors of the estate. And it's a 3-bedroom semi-detached in Coventry in Cannock. Market value was 90 grand. We negotiated it down to 65,000. It's a property which is in need of full remodernisation. We sold it to one of the guys on my inner circle, who is a cash buyer, They've got to complete within 2 weeks, and we charge them a £5 sourcing fee for that. We reckon the house, after it's all done up, we've got builders quotes of 25,000 on the property. We reckon the property will be worth circa 130 to 140,000 pounds. Okay, so keep moving on. So there's 3 different types of house prices. So we've got the market value, we've got the below market value, and we've got the hope value. We need to try and figure out what price do they pay. Because remember, we've got, if you look at the picture on there, we've got the inflated price, which is the hope value. We'll have the market value, which is what the potential estate agent is marketing it for. And then we've got the below market value, which is what we're trying to achieve. But what we need to really understand from a vendor's point of view is what is their pain, what is their motivation. We also need to understand what they need to move. Are they looking just to clear their remaining mortgage? Are they looking to clear their outstanding debt? Is it the cost of moving? Give me an example of the property that I went to in Cannock this week. So I went to Cannock on Tuesday. I met the vendor at the property, and she goes, our late grandmother has just left us this property. We think we could potentially get around 80,000 for it on the open market, but we want a quick sale. And I said, okay, so I said, what's the motivation? Why are you speaking to me? Why don't you just put it on the open market? I said, you've got no debt on it. You know, why me? They go, in all honesty, there's 6 of us in this probate. And as a result, we'd rather get shot of it quickly. And the way that we've looked at it is that if we sold it through an estate agent at 80,000, after paying their fees, after paying all the legal costs, we're going to probably walk away with around 75,000, which over 6 of us is going to net us around 6 of us is going to be just under 15,000. And I said, okay. And they go, I said, so what do you want me to offer? He goes, well, ideally 85,000. I said, that's never going to happen. So we started negotiating. We got it down to 65,000. And I said, what, 65,000? Well, sorry, it was 66,000. I said, at 66,000, you're still walking away with £11,000 each, and I'll even pay your legal cost. So you're walking around with £11,000 net. So they had a little chat between themselves, and they suggested that £11,000 within 2 weeks' time is a deal that they wanted to do. So I looked at what they wanted, what they needed, and I knew that they were looking at around the £15,000 each. But I said, well, you cannot wait 6 to 12 months to get you £15,000 each, or I could give you £11,000 today, £11,000 each, and it works extremely well. So remember, there's lots of value, lots of figures. So for argument's sake, giving you another example, if the market value is 135,000, but the couple need £80,000 to move, you've got to look at what is it that they actually want and what you actually want to pay. So if they need £80,000 to move, the market value is 135,000. The price that you actually want to pay is 100,000, which is a discount. The price they want is actually 110,000. So you need to have a look at what they want, what they need, and what you can offer. Does that kind of make sense? Because the market value is that it's just a marketing guide. Doesn't mean that you need to offer that. You're not buying their house. You are giving them a reason for moving faster than anyone else. Going back to my example of Cannock. If they're relocating, for argument's sake, if they're relocating to closer to their grandchildren, then you can ask them if time with their grandchildren is more important to them than the house price that they hope to achieve. Give you an example of the house in Cannock that we negotiated this week. Is £15,000 in 12 months more valuable to them than £11,000 today? And the answer that they said is that, well, we'd rather take £11,000 today because we can spend it today. There's no guarantee that we're going to get £15,000 in 12 months. And that was my point exactly. So here's some of the locations that we've done deals in. I think I've actually done a deal in every city in the UK. Over the 18 years, it wouldn't surprise me if I've done majority of the towns in the UK too. So you guys do the maths. 483 deals at £4,000 a time is in excess of £1.9 million that we generated last year. And I can confirm that we didn't put a single penny into any deal. All we did is we sourced it, we packaged it, and we sold it. Now, here's some of the deals in 2018, and these are the ones that we probably put out within the last week. So here's a Blackpool deal, which was a phenomenal deal. 4 flats that we negotiated with an auction house, direct to with an auction house. We agreed £60,000, where we saw that the market value was £120,000. And we charged a £6,000 fee for that. Let's just have a quick look. I'm just conscious of the fact that we've probably got people. No, okay, so he's not online. So here's another deal that we put out earlier in the week. Manchester Road, Bolton. I think I put this out on Thursday. And here's another deal. This one was direct to owner. And this was one that was being advertised online privately, and we managed to build a rapport with him. He's a great guy, great landlord, looking to retire. Purchased market value around 290. We negotiated a discount of 230, and again we've secured a deal on that, and we've taken a £5,000 fee off that. And again, here's Ashley's deal. So this is Ashley's deal that he found a landlord online looking to advertise his property privately. Ashley went to him directly, agreed a rent at £850 a month, also managed to negotiate a rent-free period of 2 weeks. There's a property address and the location. You would have seen this come out to you this week. And again, finder's fee of £5,000. These are all deals that have done, and in the process, the 2 that are purchases are in the process of going through. This one, the rent-to-rent deal, signed, sealed, delivered, and all the money's already in the bank. The one thing that I do with our sourcing is that we collect our sourcing fee up front on the basis that it's fully refundable right up to the point of exchange contracts. So if you work on the basis that £6,000, £5,000, and £5,000, so that's £16,000 in commission in 3 deals. Bear in mind that we do on average between 10 and 12 deals a week. Bear in mind that the Canic deal, bear in mind that the other deals that we've done as well, you'll see the Stoke deal as well. So I'm just going through, Sorry, I'm conscious that I'm still getting a shed load of questions. So projection for 2018, we're on target to hit 500 deals. 500 deals at average sourcing fee of £5,000. That's £2.5 million in fees. No capital input required into any deal, sourced, packaged and sold. One of the other deals that you would have seen that come out on email this week was a property in, I think it is Sunderland, 2 one-bedroom flats. We sourced that, we sold that for £40,000. A guy from London bought it and he went and viewed it on Thursday. That's all now legal. So yeah, the deals that you won't see on the database, purely because we always give the first guys the option for 48 hours and we go from there. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. And I'm a big fan of that. And hopefully you'll understand that I don't talk about it, I just go off and do it. And the proof, whatever I say, is in the pudding. It's all in the deals, all in the emails that you get on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to introduce something called the Elite Property Tribe to you. So what it is that the guys that have found these deals are all part of the Elite Property Tribe. And what that is, it's a 52-week deal trading online training program where I teach you how to look at 6 different types of cash flow strategy deals. So that's deal trading, rent-to-rent, lease options, HMO, service accommodation and commercial to residential. So it's pretty much a package that makes you become an all-rounded investor. Does that make sense? So I want you to look at every different style of property and say, okay, it doesn't tick to become a HMO. Could it become a service accommodation unit? Could it be a rent-to-rent deal? Could it become, could we carve it up into flats? And that's what I want everyone to specialize in, because I never want anyone to become a one-trick pony. And in the 52 weeks, I give you everything that you need to succeed with each of the cash flow strategies, all the contracts, all the checklists, all the cash flow calculators, spreadsheets, and all the proven sourcing templates and the techniques, as well as the negotiation techniques. And the one thing that I'm very, very generous of is with my time. With anyone that's in the Elite Property Tribe, you're accountable to me. I'm almost like your buddy, where I'm always on the end of the phone. So every day we have sessions between 10 and 2 where you can call me consistently, where you have my personal mobile number. And if you run into a roadblock, all you do is you pick up the phone. I only teach strategies that I've done myself, and I've suffered through costly mistakes so that you guys don't have to. One thing that I forgot to mention on these slides is that anyone that's in the Elite Property Tribe actually gets to come and shadow me in my office. So you book out time where you come and do a day with me. I've had some people this week. So I had a guy called DJ come and spend 2 days with me. We've got some rent-to-rent deals that we're going to be putting out this week that we negotiated whilst he was in the office with me, and they'll be going out this week. So we've got about 3 rent-to-rent deals coming out this week, all in London. People say that rent-to-rent doesn't work in London, or you can't get them in London. I'll show you how we can this week. So with the Elite Property Tribe, you get weekly training and a Q&A webinar for a whole year to give you the skill set, the motivation, the mindset in order that you need to source, trade deals, and trade property. You get access to an online property portal called the elitepropertytribe.co.uk, which is specifically built for this purpose, where all the webinars are recorded, all the documents are stored. We've got an online forum. We've got lots of documents. I'll go through with you in a second, just in case you miss any of the events. I forgot to mention that in excess of the 52 webinars, we also get 4 live meetups. The next one's on June the 9th, and I've got 3 very good speakers coming to speak at the event. You get access to an online portal. You get all the proven leaflets, magazine adverts, and 3-part letters that you can use to source deals immediately. You get access to my power team, which is my architects, my accountants, my tax advisors, my lawyers, and my mortgage brokers. And you get to join a supportive community. So we've got a WhatsApp group, which is full of EPT members, I call it EPT, who are determined to change their life. They'll inspire you with their success and share their experiences so that you can avoid costly mistakes and shortcut your success. We get a quarterly meeting with a keynote speaker, live Q&A, and motivational networking. And the beautiful thing is that anyone that's in the Elite Property Tribe, you actually get to sell your deals to my database. So we JV on it. So every deal that you sell to my database, I've got 103,000 in my property investor database who are hungry for your deals. All my deals sell within the day, and as a result, we JV, so we do a 50-50 split on the sourcing fee. You get access to my private WhatsApp group for further group discussion, Q&A, and support, and you instantly become a lead magnet, which will effortlessly pull in between 6 and 10 leads a month. All I need you to do is follow the system to a T. Don't diverse from the system. Just follow it. Whatever we say, just follow it. I'll show you how to shine a spotlight on your deal so that investors are desperate to have it, and you'll be amazed how quickly you can sell your deals. Some of you guys may have called me this week and you may have said, Arsh, okay, I'm interested in the Blackpool one. I said, sorry guys, it's gone. I put the Blackpool deal out on Friday morning at 7 o'clock. It was all automated, so I wasn't there at 6 o'clock writing the email. It's all automated. And by 10 past 7, that deal had been sealed, secured, and the money was in the bank. So we took, on average, the best part of 300 calls for that property. And unfortunately, I had to say to the other 299 people, sorry guys, it's already gone. I'll also tell you what to never tell an investor about the property until they've paid your fee or risk being cut out of the process. Quite a few of you asked the question, how do I avoid being risk cut out of the question? I've already just told you that. We get paid straight away so that we can't get cut out of the equation. I'll be showing you how to build lasting relationships with your investors so that they become repeat customers for your deals and houses. And I'll be showing you how much is too much when it becomes a sourcing fee, because there is a bit of a science to it. You need to make sure that You don't undersell yourself, but you don't oversell yourself, which may mean that you may break the deal. And I'll be showing you how, with rock solid confidence, exactly how to trade properties every month between £10,000 to £40,000 without having to pay for them or buy them, and how to use a simple little known trick to add value to property without doing a refurb. So just so you know, there's a 52-week agenda. It is very militant. I'm going to be completely honest, I am very tough on you because I drag you through this process. I want you to do deals. I want you to find deals. I want you to put them through the investor database. I want you to make money. So we look at rent to rent, we look at HMOs, we look at deal sourcing, we look at service accommodation. So the cost of it, just so you know, for the whole process is £6,000. But I do not want you to pay £6,000. What I actually say is that you join by paying 50% up front, which is £3,000. And the other 3,000 is only paid once you succeed, which means that I believe in you. I know that you can do this because I've been training other people do this and watching them do this. So you pay £3,000 up front, which you can either pay in one lump sum or an option of 3 payments, if that helps. And the other £3,000 is paid only once you do deals. And I'm so confident that you will succeed. Now, I actually give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can join for 30 days. And if you're not happy with the content, or you don't like it, or you've listened to it and you're not 100% sure about it, all you do is you simply join, you participate in the weekly webinars. You have to do all 4 webinars. And if you're not completely satisfied after 30 days, you send me an email and I'll give you a full refund of whatever you paid so far. No questions asked, no hassles, no forms to fill out, no problems at all. So there's the link. So basically it's arshellahi.com/EPT 2018. The first webinar starts on Monday, the 4th of June. And we're going to kick the program off with the 30 deals in 30 days program, which means that we're going to try and get each and every one of you at least one deal within the 30 days, which means that in theory, your education should have been paid for within the 30 days. However, that comes down to you. I can show you, I can teach you everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, but I need you to play your part. The program is not for those who are weak. The program is not for those who are for the faint-hearted. The program is for those who are committed to changing their lives. The program is for those that want to succeed. The program is for those that want to succeed in property. The program is for those that want to succeed in expanding their mindset. The fact that you get someone like me to handhold you through the whole process is, if you go to any other training program, I guarantee you don't get that. So one of the questions that asked was, DeQuincy asked, fantastic program, Arsh, but is this similar to one of the other people that are trading deal trading? If you can get hold of that person on the phone, DeQuincy, and you can see if you can get him to negotiate your deal for you, I will actually give you the money myself. Now, I'll get lots of people who will come to me. Right, okay, so sorry, Atif says, how much do property sources receive if you find the property investor? Is it 50%? Yes. So it's 50-50 split. So for argument's sake, you can, believe it or not, you can only JV with me if you're part of the elite property tribe. I don't take other people's properties on because that's part of the program. So just give you an example. Ashley joined in EPT in Feb 18. Ashley's traded 2 deals with me and he's continually to find more deals on a weekly basis. The 2 deals that we did, I've just shown you the one in Birmingham. He did another one in Wolverhampton, and he generated £5,000 each. Christina has traded 3 deals with me, as in the process of building her own investor database. She generated £3,000 per property. Now, Russell, who I said Russell's a very inspirational young man. He's been with me over a year, and he decided that he loves it so much he followed on for a second year. Just so that you know, guys, I'm not one of these guys that will say you've got to join for a first year and then you have to pay a full commitment fee for a second year. In actual fact, I want you to actually just stay in the program. In actual fact, we only charge £300 for a second year, and a third year, £300, fourth year, £300. So I've got people that have been with me since the start of this program that I started 2 years ago. Russell's a guy that started in Jan 2017. In February, he sold his first deal for £3,000. He's gone off and done, I think we've done in excess of 30 deals with Russell. And he does this all whilst living in Marbella. He now commutes between Marbella and Newcastle, and he's now working on other larger deals as well. The question I have to ask yourself is that, can you do this? Or should I say you can do this? Because are any of the people that I've shown you or mentioned to you today any different to you? The answer is no, they're not. All they've done is they've put their doubts aside for long enough to give this a try at no risk to them. And they've achieved unbelievable results in just 1 month. Remember, month one, I'm going to kick off with the 30 deals in 30 days challenge. So that means that I've got to give you so much content in 30 days for you to get your first deal. And if you're not happy with it, you've got the 30-day money back guarantee. Imagine never having to do a day's work for anyone else. No more boss, no more commuting, no more pressures, no more financial worries. Some of you may have seen on social media over the last couple of days, sometimes I decide to work from home and I have mentees come to my house. I've got no issue with that because they're not mentees, they're friends of mine now. Once you're part of my community, you are actually part of my inner circle. Imagine having a business that fits around your family commitments so you never have to miss your kids' plays, concerts or sports matches. And just imagine how good it would be to write your letter of resignation, because for the last 3 months you've been generating in excess of £5,000. What I'm offering you is a proven system to make holiday-sized bundles of cash. Weekly training for a year. Access to my power team. You actually get access to the supportive community, which is a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group, me personally, as well as the online platform. And all for the cost of £3,000 up front. And we take the payment either in one payment or you pay in three installments. That's completely up to you. And you go to arshellahi.com/EPT 2018. We've got lots of questions which I'm going to get through in a second. And I get lots of questions. Can a simple system really do this for you? Absolutely. Because you've seen the success of Rahil alone, who has succeeded with all the odds stacked against him. You see the emails come out to you daily so that you know that what we're suggesting is real deals and real success. Don't you owe it to yourself to give you this a try at no risk to you at all, because you're covered by a 100% money back guarantee. And I'm actually investing in you because, here we go. So Kazim says, will you do 2-for-1 deals? Now, Kazim, yes, if they're your business partner, he says, me and my business partner. If they're genuinely your business partner, and I'll need to just see some clarification that they are your business partner, yes, 2 of you are allowed to come for the price of 1. Okay, so De Quincy said, okay, so can my mom do this? She's not great on computers, but she has an iPad and a mobile phone. Absolutely, De Quincy, I've got people in the group. One thing that we actually do, De Quincy, is that in the group, we actually buddy you up with someone else. So if she's not great on computers, but she may be great on the phone, I'll buddy her up with someone that is great on computers, and she can be the person on the phone. So there's lots of things that you can do. So okay, so Jake has said, Arsh, great webinar, as always, because what has honestly been the best performing and worst performing member of the EPT? There's no such thing as a worst performing member, Jake, just purely because everyone's going to be on a different journey. Some people, admittedly, won't have done a deal within a year, but they've taken that education and in year 2, year 3, year 4, they've done deals. So there will be some members that won't have done a deal. There'll be lots of members that would have used it for educational purposes. With regards to best performing members, that's a hard one because I've got Raheel. I've got, I had Vicky Hughes. Vicky's gone off and done it herself now. So Vicky Hughes was phenomenal. Raheel is phenomenal. You've got people like Russell, phenomenal. You've got Ashley coming up in the ranks, phenomenal. I could reel off name after name and name of people who are doing this, and they're just literally, they're absolutely outstanding as to what they can do. So someone says, as he says, can you put the link on the chat? Yeah, okay, what I'll do is I'll put the link on the chat so that is there for everyone to see, sent to all, that should be in your chat there. So what I'm after is exceptional individuals who I can turn into the greatest deal sources in the UK. And for tonight, you can have it for £3,000 using the link, which is arshellahi.com/EPT 2018. Now, admittedly, I got my inspiration from The Wall of Wall Street because he took a load of average people, and he turned them into exceptional people as traders. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to have a group, like, just so you can see. I'll just quickly run through what you get. You get the weekly training, you get the Q&A sessions, gives you the skill set and the mindset to be able to source trade and deals. You get the access to the online portal, all the webinar recordings for the last 2 years as well. And you get you get 4 live meets with us as well. You get to come and shadow me in my office. You get to JV to sell deals to my database. You get access to the private Facebook group. You get access to the private WhatsApp group. You get quarterly physical meetings. You get access to my power team. And I took a screenshot of it today. So the one in green was me. I'm in it every day answering questions. We've got 133 members in the EPT, but that you've got to remember that's been evolving over a number of years. We've got the online platform where you get all the documents. Just going back to DeQuincy, in the EPT buddy scheme there, we buddy you up with other members. So Chi says, is that £3,000, not £6,000? Okay, so £3,000. So the whole program is £6,000, but you only pay £3,000 up front, and the other £3,000 is paid once you do deals, but over a long period of time. So Mike has said, it seems to me that you keep 50% of the sourcing fee, and it's in interest to train. It's in your interest to train and work as many, not to charge them for learning. Okay, now Mike, I understand what you're going to say there, and you'll say, well, why don't we take a load of people on for free, and why don't we train them? Problem that I've got there, Mike, is that I tried it, and what we find is that people lose interest. Life gets in the way. They stop turning up to webinars. And so we need to keep you motivated. Obviously, I need to be very selective about who I choose to teach. Now, that's obviously, we're conscious that we need to make sure. Okay, so Michael says, is there any interest if you're paying installments? Admittedly, it's $3,300 if you're paying installments because we use a system that charges you for that. So you can see that on the when you click on the link, it says in there, so that it's if you pay all in one go, it's $3,000. If you pay over 3 payments, the first payment is $1,300, and the 2 payments thereafter is $1,000 each. I've even got flow charts for you to follow. So it pretty much is a systemized process. So it will give you a flow chart. You know, what do you do? What kind of questions do you ask? Where do you go? Is it a deal? Is it not a deal? And it goes from there. So we've got so many ways for you to follow. There's no reason why you shouldn't succeed. Michael said, what is the cutoff point? So the first webinar is Monday the 4th of June. We're gonna sell out well before then. On average we take on between 30 and 40 members. There isn't a limit, so to speak. What I want to do is work with members who are committed. You've got to get yourself booked on. After we get to a point where I think we've got too many, we'll just say, okay, we'll close it at there. Let's keep going through some of the questions. So DeQuincy says, are you sure the yearly extension is £300 and not $3,000? Yes, the yearly extension is £300 for the next second year. And then if you want to join the third year, again, it's another £300. So I'll put the link in. Okay, so yeah, Atif says, is all the training material available inside the portal once you join? So Atif, if you join tonight, I would give you access first thing tomorrow morning. All the documents are all there, all the webinars. Just to give you an example, if I quickly click onto, let me quickly go. So when you click that link, that will take you to a page like this. So I'm currently, don't look through the rest of the website. I'm currently having it rebuilt where there's still lots of content missing. Had to get this live for tonight, so you can pay in full payment or 3 monthly installments. Just to give you an example, if I go to the Elite Properties Trial website, everyone will get their own login. Everyone will get their own. Everyone will get their own login. Everyone will get their own password. So it is a dedicated. It is a dedicated platform specifically. So for argument's sake, let's have a look at documents. You've got all the flow charts. You've got the cash flow calculator. You've got the mind sourcing docs. Someone asked a question earlier about exclusivity. You get all the lease option documents. You've got JV partnership documents. You've got rent-to-rent documents. You've got other scripts. You've got all the webinars for the last 2 years from February 2018. So just going to June 2017. These guys are coming to the end of theirs, hence why we're doing another intake. But a lot of them will be renewing to stay within the community. You can see all webinars are listed there. You can click on any of these. So we did the 30 deals in 30 days. We did it again, but we did it there. So you'll do 30 deals in 30 days twice a year. It's quite a structured one. So Michael said that he sent me a message. Okay. Okay, so Michael, in order for you to join, very simply, you and your business partner can join for the price of one. And all you've got to do is simply click that link there, which is the link which is in the also in the chat that I sent to everyone, and you can go on there. Okay, so Evelyn, if you click on this link here, so Evelyn, it says just got into website. Okay, so if you go to the EPT website, it's only this link that I put in the chat, which I'm going to put in the chat now for you, Evelyn. There you go. I've just sent that to all. If you look in the chat box, you'll see that there's a link there, or if you could copy that link there, arshellahi.com/EPT 2018. The link, that's the only one. Okay, so Michael says, even if we come in as a business partner, can we use the same login? Yes, you both get the same login, correct? Chet says, is every webinar on a Monday night? Yes, your webinars will be on a Monday night between 8 and 9 p.m. The other webinar, so we do 2 intakes a year, so February and June. The Feb guys have their webinar on 7 till 8. The June guys will have their webinar between 8 and 9. So what is the agenda for the first 4 sessions? So just give me an example. The first 4 sessions, what we'll be doing, the 30 deals in 30 days, 30 deals in 30 days, and that's what I'll be concentrating on for the first 4 sessions to get you through that process to try and get you your first deal. So we'll be looking at all the different strategies, how we can get through there. Okay, so Paul has said, are we able to access all the weeks of trainings? As some of us know, some of us already know some of this stuff. I mean, can we jump through the training? Absolutely. When you get the login, just so you know, you will have access to all webinars for all the previous sessions. So you might say, well, you know what, Paul might say, I've got an interest in lease options. Can I literally go through all the lease option stuff? And you've got 4 sessions, 4 sessions of lease options. We actually did a Q&A session with a solicitor a couple of weeks ago. You can listen in live to that as well. So we've got the whole session there. Okay. Quincy says, you're a great negotiator, but it's still worth asking, as you said, no money down. Is there no money down option for your training? As I give you 90% on my deal. Like I said, Dick Quincy, unfortunately, we have to have you committed to it, because we tried this before, and what we find is that people lose commitment to it. So Cherie said, is this joining fees only for today? Believe it or not, you can join throughout the whole of May. So we've got the best part of 2 weeks left. I'm going to be doing another webinar with different content next week. I don't mind sharing that with you if you want to join next week. but come the end of May, we are closing this off. But if you want to join and you want to get access to it straight away, get yourself onto it and get yourself on there. So Viren has said, yeah, that's the link. So hang on, let me just check your link. So he said, is my link working? If I copy your link, should take me. I hope it works. Yeah, it takes you straight to that page. Can our partner be with me? So Chi said, can my partner be with me when I join? Yes, as I said, your partner or your business partner or your marital partner can be with you, 2 for the price of 1. And that's how it works. Yes, Viren, your link works. Sounds okay. So let's just have a quick look. I'm going through some of the other questions. Can I get rent-to-rent service accommodation deal with this? Absolutely, because remember, what we're teaching you is the sourcing process of how to source property, whether that be below market value deals, HMOs, rent-to-rent deals, service accommodation deals, lease option deals. And we even, if you look on the platform, we even started going through commercial to residential deals. So yes, you can get rent-to-rent deals, and remember, you don't have to source them. Okay, so if we talk your package, how does it work to set the new investor up? Is that covered? Yes. So basically, I talk you through the whole compliance process. So insurances, licenses that's required. So you will, if you will require some stuff to get you up and running. Will there be more courses you'll be selling to EPT members? I see face-to-face courses you run, or is the content the same? Believe it or not, Chet, once you're in with me, there is no real upsell other than the £300 because all the courses that I run, pretty much I put the content in there anyway. So giving you an example, when I do a rent-to-rent course, I upload the recording from the rent-to-rent course onto the platform. So if I do a HMO course, you can come on it for the cost of your seat. Okay, so Evelyn, if you can copy this link at the bottom, she goes, I can only see the option to pay in full. If you copy the link here, which is arshellahi.com/EPT 2018, that gives you the option of paying in 2 installments. So it should take you to a page that looks like this, and at the bottom of it, it says pay in full or pay in 3 installments. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to go through some of the questions. So when's the next course date? So the next one is Feb, 2019, but we can't guarantee that that's going to be the same price. Victor says, would it be possible to make £500 payments? Unfortunately, Victor, as much as I'd love to, we need to try and keep this to the payments of 3 payments as opposed to 6. So Clive says, how much is the insurance and other costs for being a legal source? That's a good question because it comes down to compliance. So insurance costs on average around £200 for the year. And then you've got other bits that you need to be, all in all, it costs you best part of £1,000 for a year for all the bits that you need. Does that make sense, Clive? So I'm trying to get through the question. So John says, how does Rahil stop the buyer and the seller cutting him out of the deal? Okay, so first of all, the buyer has to pay Rahil his fee. So for argument's sake, John, if you see my email and you want to see that deal, you have to pay me my finder's fee pretty much straight away. It's only after we've received that fee will you progress further. Does that make sense? So we can't be cut out the centre. I've been doing this for such a long time that we cannot be cut out the centre. So when does the lockout agreement come into play? We lock the property out before it goes out, so no one could cut it out the centre, and you get all the lockout agreements in the training as well. Okay, so one question: who pays the solicitor's fees? I don't think they'll give you the right contracts, do all the work, hopefully to complete the deal and get paid by the buyer. What solicitor's fees are that? You don't need solicitor's fees because you've already got all the contracts. Okay, let's have a quick look. Does Rahil pay the agent their commission, or does the purchaser of the deal? No, the seller pays the estate agent the commission, and the buyer pays you your commission. Okay, we've answered the question. When does the lockout agreement come into play? Looking for deals to flip over here. So Paul, sorry, looks like I've missed your question. Looking for deals to flip over here. Did you say something before that? Are agents trustworthy? Believe it or not, they're a lot more trustworthy than you think. It's very rare that I've come across an agent that isn't trustworthy. So are there any other questions? I think I've answered most of the questions that we've got. I think I've gone through a majority of the questions. There's a lot that we've covered there. There's a hell of a lot that we've covered. And like I said, if you want to get involved, if you want to get moving forward so that you can progress your property career, the only way of doing that is by joining someone that will handhold you through the whole process. Okay, so Chet says, what is the difference between your course and progressive? I love that. I love that question, because you can go on a weekend workshop with progressive and you then don't get any support thereafter. And as a result, how much can they teach you in a weekend? Let's face it, on an 8-hour course, so from 9 to 5, 8 hours, you've got an hour for lunch, you've got an hour for coffee breaks in between. That breaks you down to 6 hours. How much can they actually teach you in 6 hours or 12 hours over 2 days? Can they get through the compliance? Can they get the compliance alone will take you 2 hours. That's if they skim through it quickly. Can they teach you all the contract stuff? Can they teach you all the sourcing stuff? Can they teach you everything that I would have to pack into 52 weeks? Can they teach you how to source rent-to-rent deals? Can they teach you how to look at different cash flow strategies, different cash flow models? We're a different league, my friend. Will they give you the support? Will they give you the WhatsApp group? Will they give you the Facebook group? Will they give you all the documents? The documents alone are worth in excess of £3,000. Does that make sense? So Victor, if you are interested, you just give me a call tomorrow and let's see what we can do. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything that any of you guys want to ask the questions of. Yeah, I'm happy to have a chat. One thing I do want to say is I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to learn the secrets of deal trading. Hope you now understand how you can use this system to your benefit and to achieve your property cash flow goals. As always, like I said, I'm one of these guys that you can get hold of. You know, even I'm still fasting, so I'm going to sign off in a second because it's time to open my fast. But if there are any other questions, feel free to come back to me tomorrow. You've got my personal mobile number on screen there. You've got my email, my personal email address. You've got the website, which is elitepropertytribe.co.uk. Go on, feel free to go there. Go to elitepropertytribe.co.uk. See, watch the video there of the testimonials that we've got, and see what your thoughts are. If you like the thought of that, yeah, I'm always happy to have a chat with you. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do. Let's get you moving forward. Anyone that joins immediately gets immediate access, which means that they get immediate access to start their property journey. We'll put you into the WhatsApp group and we'll go from there. So on that note, guys, I wish you every success. I'd love to see you all on the training. One last question that Shrey says, how long is it going to take before I can see the results if I follow the system? If you follow the system, you should see results within the month. If you follow it to the T, if you make the calls that I ask you to make, if you write out to the people that ask you to write out to, if you're continuously and you're relentless in your approach, there's no reason why you can't do that. So guys, on that note, I wish you every success. Thank you very much for being with me on this lovely Sunday evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. On that note, take care. Good night. God bless.